Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. I've got to big up Easy As If on GBM Promotions because some of his shows, he started off just having them on YouTube. Now he's with DAZN, and it's thoroughly deserved this step up because you give him some money, you give him a big platform, and his shows produce. They were great when they were just, small hall affairs on YouTube. But now, the one in Doncaster tonight, terrific show, real 50-50 fights. And there was a fantastic contest between Lewis Sylvester and Reece Mould, won on a split decision by Sylvester. Sylvester, I think it was the right decision. I think I had it 96, 94, 97, 93 to Sylvester, something like that. But both guys gave everything. And this was for some IBO intercontinental thing. I don't know, but who cares about the belt? It was a 10-rounder, not a 12-rounder. And both guys gave everything. Both guys were cut. Both of them were cut on the left eye. I think Sylvester in the second round, there was a head clash. Oh, no, it was the first round, actually. First round, yeah. And then later on, seventh round, maybe seventh round, there was another head clash and Mould picked up a cut that was certainly bleeding more profusely. And it wasn't giving him that many problems in terms of his vision, I don't think. But it did sort of put him in his box a little bit for 3 rounds. And that's, to me, that, between rounds sort of 6, 7, 8, maybe 7, 8, 9, that was where Sylvester, I think, won the fight. Sylvester came in with 15 wins, I think 4 KOs, 1 defeat. The defeat was to Sam Noakes. And no shame in that. That was for the British and Commonwealth titles. And that was at the start of last year, February, March last year, first quarter of last year. But he came back with a couple of wins against Journeyman, and this was a bit of a coming out party for him. He was in there with the guy Reece Mould, who a very good fighter. 20 wins, 3 defeats, 6 KOs. So neither of them's got much pop or single punch pop. But Mould had suffered a bad defeat in 24, back end of 24. Well, September, October time, roughly, he got knocked out in a round by Ryan Walsh. And that can happen. You get tagged early, you get stopped. But he was coming off a split decision defeat to Gary Cully. And a lot of people thought Mould won that fight. But Cully got the decision. Then he got blown out by Walsh. He had a couple of little runarounds against Journeyman, picked up a couple of points wins. And then this was his comeback fight, big comeback fight against Sylvester. 30 years old now, Reece Mould, a 2-weight English champ, which takes some doing. He also fought for the British title at featherweight against Lee Wood, got stopped in 9 rounds, and that was kind of the turning point of Lee Wood's career. I think suddenly people expected Mould to beat Wood. Mould was undefeated at the time, and Wood stopped him. But this Doncaster lad's a good solid pro. He's 30 years old now. And Sylvester, I think he's 26, 27, a bit younger. So really Mould needed to win this fight to stay, in the upper echelons of the British scene. And to start with, like I say, Sylvester was cut in the first round. But then in the second round, right at the end of the second round, was it, or the third round? Sylvester landed a big overhand right that slapped bang on the jaw of Mould, and it unhinged his legs. I don't know how he didn't go down. There was only about 5 seconds in the round left. And he sort of staggered backwards, and then he sort of tried to move forward because Reece Mould is very much a front-footed pressure fighter. But I think if there'd been another 20 seconds in the round, he'd have had to take a count because he was quite stunned. And then we were sort of thinking, the commentators said it as well as they said what I was thinking, is that minute going to be enough for Reece Mould to recover? But he got back into the fight quite well. And he's quite crafty, Reece Mould. He gets accused of being a bit too much of a come in the front door sort, but he can counterpunch quite well in little spots. But I have to say, Sylvester set a very high pace from the word go, and you were thinking, it's just as well this is a 10-rounder, not a 12-rounder, because that's a high output. He's got to have a good engine, and he did have a good engine. Because, like I say, the cut on Mould in the whenever it was, the 7th or whenever it was, seemed to bug him. Like psychologically, became a lot more conservative, and quite a bit more cautious. And Sylvester was able to capitalise on that with some nice, busy, tidy aggressive back foot boxing. He didn't have to go looking for Mould. Mould was coming at him, so Sylvester was hanging back and, popping him and slipping and sliding. But the rounds were competitive. This was a really good little 10-round fight. How many times have we said these, British level matchups, when you give them a good 50-50 fight, they're like throwback fights. Really great fun to watch. And again, big respect to GBM Promotions for putting on fights like this. I think they're going places. I think Izzy Asif's GBM are going places. Talking of going places, I think Sylvester puts himself in a shop window now for maybe a Commonwealth shot, a British shot. This fight was a lightweight, I think. And he's a tall, rangy guy, Sylvester, and he uses his dimensions well. He doesn't neglect them. It's not like he's tall, rangy, and he fights small. So, yeah, I was impressed. I was impressed with Sylvester a lot. I think he's probably learnt from that Sam Noakes defeat. Mould can still be relevant at British level. Don't get me wrong. He didn't look shot at all. He gave a lot, but it was a draining fight for both of them. And I just think Sylvester, with a little bit more youth, a few less miles on the clock, perhaps, he might be able to go further quicker, if you know what I mean. But what did you think of this fight? Let me know. If you didn't see it, go over to DAZN, have a look at it. It's a very, very good fight indeed. Very good fight. And leave your comments below. And if you like this video, please hit the like button, because it takes a second, costs you nothing. And subscribe to the channel if you're new. Build up Joe Stunner Boxing. You know it makes sense. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and bye for now.